Okay, the most disturbing thing about having knowledge about things that are more expansive, whether you believe it or not, is that it's not popular. And so I get people saying, hey, Landria, every week, we'll help you get more views, we'll help you get subscribers, because we know what's going on out there. And I said, I do too. I'm going to share something with you. We are addicted. We are addicted to the controversy. Yes, we are. So when you come to channels like this, it can be a little boring, isn't it? Oh, we're all nicey-nicey. No, we're not. I have a spiritual butt kick. I'm going to talk to you today about some stuff. I'm going to tell you what's going on right now and how you're completely in control of absolutely everything. And if you want to believe something else, that something else predicts that future, that's okay. At least hear me out. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. What's a fear? We actually are addicted to fear. It's an addiction. We're addicted to struggle. If you've grown up with struggle, have you ever noticed when you have a chance to change it, you'll go back to it? You'll create problems. Things are going great and you'll create problems. Do you do that? Yeah. Most people do. Why? It's programming. And there's a comfort level in that. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about conspiracy and then my channel. And you can make a choice. I'm fine with whatever you do because nothing actually matters except for your response to everything. I hope you will subscribe because I'm going to share some more insights, whether you want them or not. If you want to hear them, you are always welcome here. All right, so we're going to talk about the controversy, the addiction to fear, the addiction to controversy, the addiction to darkness. I'm going to ask you this right now. Do you watch it? Do you go to conspiracy channels? Do you go to scary movies? People say, I love scary movies. Well, you go there and you're going to be scared you're going to come home and you don't dangle your feet over the bed because something might grab it. Do you watch the negative UFO channels, the ones that tell you that they're evil? Do you watch the things about reptilians and that people in government are reptilians? Do you watch all that stuff? It's fascinating. It's fun. I know this because I hear what you're telling me, and you love the excitement of that. Now I'm going to tell you a story. You may have heard this before. Those of you who are students of mine definitely heard this. My mother came from a family, a very loving family, but her dad was bipolar, her mother was German, not loving, never hugged and kissed. It was just a cultural thing, it wasn't personal. And so every other week, Daddy was either high, they'd call it high, or down. Well, back then they did electro therapy where, you know, with the water, they didn't have drugs. And then he'd be fine again. So my mother lived in this. Now, she vowed she would never, ever have a family like that. So she married my dad, who was a very stable, loving guy. And then she had 2 kids, my brother and I, and gave us a very stable, loving, very loving and accepting life. But my mother used to do something. Are you doing this? She would cause problems with my dad. Now, I never really knew this was going on. They kept it very private. But my dad finally said, why are you causing these problems? There are no problems. So she went and got a shrink who said, it's because that's what you know. We gravitate toward what we know. He said you're comfortable in being uncomfortable. So as soon as everything's really great, you create problems because you know what to do with that. Interesting, isn't it? Do you do that? So we go to conspiracy theories and we love that the world is a problem, and then there's this and that, and what's the future going to bring? Oh, cataclysmic events, and then who said what? And I'm telling you right now, you are creating it. You are creating it. It's so much more fun when it just happens to us. We don't have to take responsibility. That's happening, or this is happening, or they're doing that, or mommy and daddy didn't love me, and the bottom line is, now you're in charge. You're in charge. And every thought that you have goes into the mass collective that's creating it every moment. And somebody said, I don't want to say I am a God. I am not a God. And I said, well, then you're not believing in the Bible. Ye are all gods. These things you shall do and more. When do we get it? There's no separation of everything. Somebody said, well, I don't you say source. Yeah? Do you have a problem with me using a different word? Here's why I use the word source versus God. We've been programmed to think God is a person. A white man with a beard and a robe out in the sky going, you deserve this, you deserve, I will. No, because the Bible says these things you shall do and more. Ye are all gods. Gods. Not the God. In other words, you are the finger in the body. You are the hair. You're the fingernail. Still made up. The body is still made up of all these things. When do you get this? Are you addicted to the contrast? This is why we came here. We have become addicted to the contrast. The contrast is, it's really exciting to get scared at a scary movie. It's exciting to jump out of a plane. Whew! Why would you do that? You won't get me to do it. Well, I'll never say never, right? Because there's something so close to this other place that we don't remember. When you jump out of that plane, you connect with it. And it's amazing. Why do people climb Mount Everest? We're addicted. Here, it's an addiction to the thrill. What's it like to kill someone? What's it like to see something die? What's it like to feel pain when somebody does die? What's it like to go through a hurricane and then a beautiful sunset watching dolphins? This is the beauty of this planet you're on. This is all it is. And you may be addicted to those beautiful, beautiful adventures into darkness because it allows you to know it. Don't get stuck there. So the whole point is to experience it, whether it's somebody else's darkness that they introduce you to it, or you create it. It's your response. It's your response. So let's talk about elections and our future and all this stuff. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. It is a reflection of the collective choices. Observe it. Don't judge it. All right, the collective, even if you're the minority of the collective, chose this. Now what am I personally going to do to respond to this? Not as opposing or arguing. It's like, how am I going to fit into that world now that we're creating? Because through my choices, I create something beautiful because you are beautiful and perfect. You are that. And there's nothing you can't create or do. And if you tell yourself anything different, maybe you chose a pathway of struggle. Embrace it and celebrate it and say, okay, what am I going to do within this? Can I be the loving, compassionate person in this most difficult situation? Because that's going to determine what happens out here. This is a flash in the pan, my friend. That material world that you experience, whether you have a lot or a little, will be irrelevant. Because the material world is an illusion. The energy field and the frequencies that you choose are all that is. You are creating our future, our world. You're creating today. And you create your own existence right now. And whatever you believe and think, no matter what anybody says, doesn't have to be true for you. You see people like Eckhart Tolle and people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who defied all odds, and all kinds of people who defied all the odds. And we make up stories like, oh, well, whatever. Why? Because they're unusual, because they're actually the few that are tapping into the true power that they are. Anita Morjani, dying to be me, had like a few breaths left to take and left this planet. And she met her father on the other side, who said, Anita, I've always loved you, no matter what decisions you made. But she created a story in her head that she wasn't okay because she defied her family's wishes of marrying outside of the, let's say, the planned marriage that they had for her in that Indian family. Rules, patterns, programming. Step out of them. And be okay with that. Be okay with the criticism and the judgment you're going to receive, because you will. Like I said, I can have millions of viewers if I listen to these people that write me every week of how they can get me millions of subscribers. I would have to do different videos that I don't believe in. I don't believe in. I'm going to stick to what I know, because I'm going to tell you that there is another way that's so beautiful and so powerful, and it's happening here, and it doesn't have to be the majority, but it will be your reality. And you're going to leave here knowing that you did your absolute best and you let go of the judgment and the arguments. And every choice you made was the best, highest one you could at the moment, because let's face it, we live in a very toxic world. But what's that choice I can make that's higher? You know, last night I saw a cockroach in my bathroom on his back. I thought he was dead, and then I saw his little antenna move, and I went, oh crap. And I got a little towel, I took him outside and put him outside, and I thought, the thought of him laying on his back, struggling, who am I to judge that he's below anything? He's life. Am I saying I don't eliminate anything? No. But when you have an opportunity to make a higher choice, do it. It's never going to be perfect according to the etheric rules. It'll be perfect according to the earth that we live in. The earth adventure. You're amazing. Are you ready to do this? Because this is what we're in right now. And if you haven't read my book, maybe it's time to, because it'll give you an understanding that you're so way beyond all of this, and that no matter what anybody says or does, it's okay. It's okay. You're going to be just fine, and then some. And you may never have to come back here if you make different choices. And that's all it is. This is school, my friend. And I'm here with you. You are loved beyond your comprehension, because you are perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.